Hi, welcome back to my stream. Let's switch back to my display here. There we go. All right, so this is a stream about learning Rust using the Roguelike tutorial. I'm also learning ECS because that's what the Roguelike tutorial uses. Somebody asked yesterday about what ECS was, and there's a whole specs manual on using specs to implement ECS, which kind of teaches you how to use it. And I've looked through this and I'm ambivalent about streaming it because we're kind of learning it along the way. So yeah, I think I just want to stick with the tutorial. The tutorial itself goes through a bunch of stages and slowly builds on Rust concepts, and we've been tweaking it along the way. We're up to this the end of the first section. We didn't quite finish it yesterday, but we did manage to do some refactoring, which was a fun thing to do actually, because it's not part of the tutorial, but it's part of my Rust learning journey. I think that was the first trait I've ever implemented in order to make a generic menu system. So let's take a look at that really quick. So we have a show inventory menu, a drop item menu, and a remove item menu. And they all call this generic function generic over this owned trait and component trait. And the component trait is part of the ECS, the specs ECS, and owned is something we created on stream. This owned, where is it? Pub trait owned. Here it is. And all it does is allow us to pass in something that you can find out who the owner is. And that way you can implement it. So we implemented it here for in backpack, and we implemented it here for equipped. And I just put them next to their structs in this giant file of components. So that was an interesting little diversion that we did, and now we're going to finish up this chapter, right? So this is the last chapter in section 1 called Hello Rust, and then we'll move on to stretch goals. I think that'll be fun. And we're actually almost done, right? We got adding more powerful gear later, and then game over screen. So we'll play around with that and see how that goes. So how do we add more powerful gear? So we're going to add longsword and tower shield. And that goes in spawner. All right, so we've got a dagger here. So I think this is exactly the same as a dagger, except, okay, so the foreground is yellow and the name is longsword. And the power is 4 instead of 2. Okay, so we'll just copy the whole thing. Put it down here and put long sword. We'll change cyan to yellow. And we'll change the 2 to a 4. And then shield, we have a tower shield. Again, it's yellow. Change the tower shield, and defense is 3 instead of 2. Okay? So tower shield, cyan goes to yellow, and power goes to 3. Everything else is the same, right? Oh, gotta change the name to tower shield, like that. All right. And then we're going to add a quick fix to Randomtable to ignore entries with 0 or lower spawn chances. Because reasons. Oh, because we're subtracting here map depth minus 1. So if map depth is 1, then this will be a 0, and map depth is 0, which I don't think we do. Then it'll be negative. Okay, that makes sense. So that's in randomtable.rs. And we have our add function, and all we do is ignore it, right? If weight greater than 0, like that. right? Okay, and then we modify our room table and spawner to use that. Here we go. So dagger and shield. Change this to long sword and tower shield, and then map depth -1 to those, and then we have to modify the spawn as ref. Right, and that's over here. Oops, let's just do it like that. Long sword. They have to actually match. The text has to match. Uh-oh, that means I didn't change the text for this. Yeah, okay. There we go. I was doing a search for that string and it wasn't finding this thing. Okay, so longsword, 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 and this is tower, shield. This becomes longsword, and this becomes tower, shield, right? Oh. Confusion, scroll, fireball. Yeah, tower, shield. Uh-oh, I must have typoed it. There's tower there, there's tower there. Yep, I'm typoed tower shield. Okay, glad I checked that, but the compiler would have caught it. So, all right, now as you descend further, you can find better weapons and shields. Okay, let's see if we can build that. So I'm building this for WASM, which means I can run it right here in my browser. It takes a while to build, unfortunately. I'm not sure what's taking the long amount of time, and it might be the whole serialization thing, but I thought we commented that out for WASM builds. I'm just going to take a quick peek here. Yeah, so for the save game, we said not WASM 32. For the load game, we did not put that in there. I guess we could. Well, let's check this first to see if we can come up with. So we won't be able to find any longswords or tower shields on this level. But, you know, that's a magic missile scroll. That's a shield. Let's go get that because that makes us invulnerable once we equip it. Game balance is not a thing that this tutorial does. But you notice the goblin was unable to hurt us. And we have to kind of walk through them. I'm looking for the stairs down so I can see if we can spawn longswords and tower shields. So I didn't add it to my goodies spawner. There's the stairs down. So now this is map depth 2, which means depth -1 gives us a small chance of finding longswords and tower shields here. And obviously the further we descend, the greater the chances. What is this? That's a dagger. We can equip it just to make things go a little faster. And what I'm looking for now is one more downstairs to see if we can... yeah, there we go. I should create a spell of downstairs location. How do I do that? These are going to be yellow, right? Because we set the foreground to be yellow. So if we see a yellow divided by sign or yellow paren, we know we found one. No, that's pink and orange. And those are scrolls anyway. There's a yellow one. Okay, so let me clear out these goblins. And I pick up the longsword. So now I have a longsword in my inventory. If I hit R to remove, you can see I'm currently wielding a shield and dagger. If I say wield the longsword, it says you unequip dagger, you equip longsword. So now if I look in my inventory, I have a dagger. And if I look in my equipment, I have a shield and longsword. So that works. Thanks, Bear Duda, for the raid. All right. So that is that. So the only thing left to do is this game over screen. Git status. Let's make sure Clippy's happy. We didn't do anything that would have upset Clippy, but I run the format and Clippy at the same time. And I git add source, git diff staged. How many roguelikes did you make, William? Oh, this exact tutorial? Nice. Nice. How far did you get in the tutorial? I'm trying to plan. I'm planning on getting through. Why isn't this thing showing here? I want to get through all of this, right? Because this goes through. Oh, you finished it all the way, even this making a game section? Because this is long. I've been streaming, I'm going through this for about a month, maybe. But I only do like a half hour to an hour a day. Yeah, Bear, you made all of them? Nice. Even Lauren? Okay. Let's do the game over screen once we check this in. Git commit. More powerful equipment. Like that. Come on. The G key on my laptop is a little finicky. There we go. It's there. It was shorter back then. Yeah. Yeah. So this is interesting. We got stretch goals with particle effects and hunger clocks, and I haven't played with Rex, although I've seen it. It looks pretty interesting. And then a bunch of ways of generating different kinds of maps are in here, which will be fun to play with and fun to learn about, because I've never done any of this before. And then, wow, look at all this stuff. So I think this is going to be fun. And then at some point, maybe in parallel, I'll try my hand at making my own roguelike. Okay, so we're going to work on this guy here. So we're nearly at the end of the basic tutorial. Yep. So in damage system, we'll edit the match statement on player for delete the dead, so that, because yeah, right now we just console log when you die. Yeah, I'm excited too, William. I think it's going to be fun. All right. And this is in damage system. Yeah, so we just console log you are dead right now. So we're going to change this to grab the run state. Oh, we're going to add a new game over state. Interesting. Okay. Let's delete that. Let me run state. ECS write resource run state. So we grab a reference to this is a resource, which is different to all of the components, right? So read storage pulls out components. If it says storage, it's a component. If it says resource, it's a resource. There's one game log. There's one current run state. We're going to modify it here. Run state game over. And then we have to change. This is main, but I moved it to game state just because main was getting pretty big. All right. Save game, next level, and game over. Game over, man. Okay, so then in here, we're going to add, we've got a whole bunch of things here for each state. We'll go to the end here. This last one we added yesterday, show remove item. So run state, game over. So we're creating a new GUI menu with the game over screen, and then we're going to match result on, just like we do here. Oh, no selection or quit to menu. So it's going to be slightly different from item menu result. Yeah, so this runs every tick. So if user doesn't do anything within 1/60th of a second, game over is going to return saying the user didn't do anything. So then we just loop here forever, burning CPU. I wish there were a way we could just block, like in the olden days of game writing. You just block on user input. Wouldn't use any CPU at all until the interrupt happened. Game over cleanup, and then new run state. State main menu, and which menu selection? Main menu selection, new game. That makes sense. And we're done with that. And that's probably the only two things in game over result. And so we just close the match and we're done. And then here's the game over screen. So yeah, here's game over results. So that just has those two guys. All right, I'm just going to go up to the top here. We clear the screen before we do any of this, right? Yeah, okay. So let's flip over to GUI. How long have I been doing Rust? I started Rust back with advent of code 2019, maybe? I decided I wanted to learn Rust. I don't remember. I'd have to go back in my, and I don't have it on GitHub, all of my advent of code stuff, but I'd have to go back in my other computer and take a look. So it's been at least a year I've been doing Rust, but I still feel like I'm learning stuff, and I'm definitely, like, even going through this tutorial, I'm learning new things. With advent of code, you're not really engineering the software solution, right? I don't know if you've played with advent of code. I plan on doing it this year, but it's just you get one puzzle per day, well, 2 puzzles per day that are related to each other for 25 days, starting on December the 1st. And that's kind of how I taught myself Rust, by just solving these problems. But you're not really, like I said, you're not really engineering. Yeah, I recommend it if you like programming puzzles. A lot of them are like really simple. It starts off really simple. Like here on day 1, it just says, add up the left and right parentheses and tell me how many you got, right? So it's like, add 1 for open paren, subtract 1 for close paren, and what's the result, right? So it starts off really easy, and then it builds on. It's got a storyline it builds on, and it gets more and more complicated as the days go by. And Stack Overflow is your friend. I recommend it if you haven't tried it. Let's see. So what we need to do now is create this game over in the GUI. Let's drop to the bottom here. There should be a vim command to scroll up like that, but I don't know what it is. Derive Q, copy and clone. Oops, like that. And then quit to menu. Okay, so we're going to get, this gets called, like I was saying before, it gets called once per tick, which is 60 times a second. And it's going to say whether or not the user did anything. On none, it's going to return no selection. And on any key, it's going to go quit to menu. So we're going to simplify this a little. Is it worth simplifying it all? I mean, that seems straightforward. I've been simplifying other parts of this code in the GUI thing. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I would catch it eventually, but thanks for pointing it out now. That helps speed things up. Thanks, Bear. All right, CTX print color centered 15 to be named. Okay, I mean the compiler would have caught it, but it always helps to go through. I've done pair programming at work, and it's always nice to. I'm trying to yank to the end here. There we go. and it's yellow and black. What does this say? Your journey has ended. And then we'll do 2 more of those and change this to, I assume 16 and 17, right? No, 17 and 18. Of course, off by 1 error, right? Okay. And those are in white. Okay, just remember to change those to white. One day we'll tell you all about how you did. That day, sadly, is not in this chapter. Okay, so yeah, change these to white. I guess we're not going to do anything with like a bones file or who killed you, stuff like that. Magenta. And what are we saying with the magenta words? Yeah, press any key. Menu, okay. And this is match CTX key. Am I right? I'm right. Pair is fantastic. Yeah, I agree. Game over results. What I like about it is sometimes, you know, you're writing code and you design something and you say, okay, here's how I'm going to do it. And then as you're writing it, the other person says, oh, wait, I just considered there's this other issue that might come up if we do it this way. And then suddenly you're in a design session, and then it's easy to catch not just, you know, typos like we caught just now, but you know, other design issues that might hurt you later. All right, and then game over. Oh my God, game over cleanup. This looks similar. Oh, you do it over Discord. Yeah, I'm on a bunch of Discords, but I find it hard to keep up with all the talk and the chatter and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so this looks similar to the code that we use for changing levels, right? Let me take a look at that code. Where is that code? I forget where that code is. Entity cleanup. Oops, of course, entities underbar. There we go. Entities remove on level change. That's it. So let's take a look at that code and compare. All right, so we're going to delete. Yeah, so we do this loop to delete everything. Oh, but here we're just deleting everything, right? It's go to next level, I was thinking, is similar. Right, so we get a list of all the things to delete, right? That's what we do here. We do this world map thing. I refactored it from the other one to do this. Make it a little... it looks like it's more complicated, but to me it was simpler. Yeah, and then we iterate over all the items, all the rooms that we created here, and spawn them. All this looks similar, right? World room center, player entity. Yeah, we did a little refactoring here. Position components. Yeah, this is all, and then the viewshed components, and then the game log. So I wonder if we can do like we did yesterday when we refactored the menu, if we can refactor this code as well. Because the only thing that's going to be different is the top part is what to delete, right? Instead of calling entities to remove on level change, we need to call remove all entities. We're going to delete everything. And at the end, instead of saying you descend to the next level, maybe just do a gamelog.clear. So let's start by refactoring this. So let's just add a function called game over cleanup. Wait, where does that get called? It gets called in GUI.rs. All right, so let's make it a public function. Because if we're not putting it in GUI, and I'll just comment it out for now. Let's see if this builds. Because everything here should build now. Well, we'll have to fix all this stuff. Damage system needs access to run state. And it doesn't use RLTK console. Okay. So run state and blow away console. Okay. All right, so that looks like that's compiling. So let's refactor the go to next level so we can pass in whether or not we want to delete everything or we want to delete just the non-carried, non-equipped items. All right, that'll refactor that part of it. So go to next level is called from here. That's fine. So we're gonna do this and call this level cleanup. All right, and then we pass in whether we want everything or not. Everything. Right? And then we can say if to delete is if everything, then we'll call one function, otherwise we'll call another function. And you know what? Which I'm not ready to do now is we could just pass in a function which does the thing we want it to do, right? I don't know how to do the function pointer things. There's a way to do things like that, right? Where you can just pass in, I can pass in entities to remove on level change. I'm not going to do that now because I don't know enough Rust to do that live. Okay, so go to next level should just pass in false, right? So it'll just say level cleanup, self level cleanup false, like that, right? And that should still work, or still build. Oops, I missed a semicolon. And to delete is not an iterator. Okay, what did I break? Because it should, oh, that doesn't get a semicolon. This gets a semicolon. Here we go. Let's shift those over. I don't know if that's the right formatting for cargo format, but makes it easier to read. All right. What broke here? Oh, because I'm not passing in, right. Okay, that makes sense. Russ is picky about assigning the same thing in the same, at the same level. So we at least have to pass in a, that still looks wrong. Okay. Yeah, both branches of the if, right, William, yeah. So what are we creating on that? Entities to remove is returning a vec entity. Okay, vec. New, and it should assume the type. I should just write it because it's just this code here. Yeah, it managed to assume the type. Okay. But at least we know that refactor worked, and now we can just add this little bit of code in here. Right. Let's actually make it a separate function. Entities to remove on game over. Okay, and it's just self ECS entities join. We're doing here self ECS entities and then doing a join. Okay. And then for E in self ECS entities join to delete, push E. And then we're done. We just return to delete, right? And then that comes back here, self entities to remove on game over without the semicolon. It's in my muscle memory. You do 2 parens and then a semicolon. And then for target and to delete, we delete entities. So it's the same thing here. The error message is different, but who cares, right? Oh, this has a star. Oh, because it's doing a to delete.iter. Oh, yeah, probably Clippy said clean that up. I don't know. I don't know how I would have gotten that right. And then we don't. Oh, and then game log. So we're not deleting the game log because the game log is not an entity. It's a resource. So that should be fine. So then instead of game log entries.push, we should say game log entries dot what? Welcome to Rusty Roguelike. If everything, do that, else we're going to do these 3 lines, right? And then game log entries push, welcome to Rusty Roguelike again. Okay, that'll distinguish it from the original message. So if I hit refresh here, begin new game, it just says that. So it should say again the second time. I wonder if this is going to work. Is that the only other change we need to make? We do have to set the viewshed up. We do have to create the map and the spawn everything, all that kind of stuff. We do need to set the current depth. Oh, the current depth has to change, right? Because we're passing in 1 here. Ah, yeah, I almost missed that. So we're going to say, oops, hit the wrong key. There we go. So we'll say for if let new depth is equal to if everything, then it's going to be 1. Otherwise, it's going to be current depth plus 1. Again, without the semicolon. Wow. By day, I'm a C programmer, so we don't have these kind of neat little if statements. We have the question mark colon thing. And then so we still, that one is still part of skip. So very cool. All right, I think that's everything. We'll find out. We're gonna build this. And yeah, okay. Oh, there is another one of those. Okay. Let us take a look. Self ECS entities join. Oh, I missed the parens. Okay, so Russ is telling me to add the parens there. And then, oh, I probably have to 2-string it. Yep, that's what Russ is telling me there. And then 312 needs a semicolon. Okay. 312 needs a semicolon. This needs a 2-string. Yeah, I see there's a 2-string on the other one there. And then it was current depth problem, right? Where is it? Oh. Oh. Okay. It's inside here. So we'll have to add this to this. Actually, what we can do is what is this, 5 over? Yeah. So we can just say world map resource depth here. Right? And that gives us our new depth. Okay. Does that take care of those 3 errors? No. Oh, I forgot that one. Yep. 249. Like that. Okay. So now we should be able to die, right? And it should give us the game over screen. Begin new game. Welcome to Rusty Roguelike. Let's go die. I can't stab myself. Come on, guys. There we go. Oh. Okay. Well, it showed up, but it's not clearing the screen. That's weird. Anyway, so if I press any key, it doesn't do anything. All right, so we have a couple of bugs. It didn't crash. I don't see anything in the console log messages, but it looks like pressing any key doesn't work. Okay, let's debug this. What have we got? So we do go to the game over state. That part works. Oops. Right? Here's the game over state, and we check the result from this. We should be returning game over result no selection or game over result quit to menu. So we're calling game over. Where's game over? Oh, game over cleanup. I didn't fix that. Okay, so that's the bug. And that is in game state. We weren't actually doing anything here, so this is self level cleanup true. All right, let's see if that works. If that's the only bug, then yay, but I've got to fix the clear screen issue. Okay. And once again, we need to go die. I should have a, oh yeah, I do have fireball scrolls, which will damage me. If I see one of those, I'll pick it up. Any monsters in here? Nope. It doesn't damage me enough. Let's go down. Maybe there'll be more monsters at the next level. Nope. There we go. Almost killed him. Okay, so your journey is ended. I'm going to press a key. Okay, so that works. Begin new game. Yeah, okay. Welcome to Rusty Roguelike again. Oh, I should clear out all the other messages from the previous session. And where are we? Okay, so it didn't quite work. There's more debugging to do, because where are we? Let's see what we missed. Let's close that. Okay, in game state, so we delete everything on game over. We build a map. So the map is actually a brand new, sorry, it's a resource. So, but we're creating a brand new map here and assigning it to world map resource. So I'm assuming Rust will automatically clean up the old one. And the new depth is going to be 1 because we're passing in true. And then we pass back a clone of the world map and the depth. So that's our current depth. We then iterate over all the rooms and create them. And now grab the player position here, right? Find the player entity. Oh, we didn't spawn the player. Oh, we have to spawn the player because the player is a thing that gets deleted. Right? Okay, so that's what we missed. So we say if everything, we have to create the player. Let player entity equal. If we're deleting everything, we're going to create a new player. Here. Why is it doing 4 in? 8 in. Spawner, player, self, ECS, player X, and player Y. Otherwise, the player entity is this guy here, right? We just fetch him and then semicolon. Okay, maybe that was the problem, because if there's no player, we can't draw a map. We can't create a view shed. And got to spell spawner right. S-P-A-N. There, spawner. Ooh. Oh, we need player entity to be outside of that. Type cannot be referenced. What did I do wrong? Right here. Oh, semicolons. It didn't complain. It didn't warn me about that part. It should, yeah, it would have been nice if Rust said, hey, you know what? You're returning this from this type. Why? Why are you assigning to a variable? You don't need that. All right, so we're close. Expected specs entity found struct fetch. Help consider dereferencing the type. Okay, I can do that. I can dereference a type, and that's on line 331. There. But we dereference it here. Okay. Will that break? Yeah, okay, so now we've already dereferenced it. We don't need to do it there. That makes sense. Like that. And hopefully spawner player returns deref. Okay. All right, that's compiling. Let's refresh it here as soon as it's done. I need a faster computer. Okay, so we're able to spawn that, but we haven't called it yet. Let's die. And we should also test this works on level change. Okay, and I'm going to press any key. Begin new game. Okay, so now we do have a player. Okay, so that was that bug. Let me change levels, which means I got to hunt for the staircase. Sorry for the boring stream here, hunting. Ooh, I panicked. Why? Unwrap on none value in melee combat system. Oh no. So what were we trying to unwrap there? Line 73. Oh, the game log? No. This line 70. Oh, 70. Yeah, 73. Name, target name, and damage. We're not calling unwrap here. Unless the player's name somehow isn't set. I don't know how to debug that though. Let me try running it in. I'll pull up a new window here. Oops. Let's do it that way. I'm gonna go run release. Let's see if we get a better error message out of the. All right. So first I need to die, right, and then get rebuilt. And there's something I'm not building correctly while I'm generating the new game. Okay, so let's make this bigger. Wow, that looks really wonky. Okay, let's begin a new game. Die quickly. Begin another new game. And then take a hit, and that's where we're going to die, is when we take a hit. I wish I could proportionally resize the screen, because this looks so odd to me right now. Come on. Got to get some monsters here somewhere. You know, I don't know if there's like combat stats should exist. Like if I point my mouse over here, it says player. There was a goblin I saw up here. So it's got a name. It's not a name issue. And now it died. Oh. Run with Rust backtrace. Oh, line 49. Did I miss that? Oh, 49. Okay. I was doing 73. All right, so combat stats get wants melee target. So it's not able to find the thing that wants to melee, which is the goblin, right? Why would that be a problem? All right, let's take another look at this code and see maybe there's something else I missed. I'm deleting everything here, right? I create a brand new map. I spawn new guys on level 1. If anybody watching sees what my mistake is, let me know, because otherwise I'm going to be dragging my feet here trying to solve this thing. Let's see. Entities remove on game over is everything. Right? And we delete it. We create a new, we grab the map resources, which doesn't get deleted. It just gets overwritten. We have a depth of 1, or world map resource depth plus 1, which is, was in the previous code. All right, and then we spawn the bad guys, and this is where we're spawning the creatures, right? I mean, clearly we have combat stats because we're displaying it on the screen here. We see HP 30 of 30, so it's able to find combat stats for the player. It's just not finding combat stats for the spawned creatures. Why would that? Why would that be? All right, let's look at these lines. I don't know what these lines, why these lines would be different. Spawner player. Right, so this is grabbing a reference to the player. Oh, we're not inserting the player entity? Does that? Yeah, player entity writer. Oh. Because we deleted the player as an entity, but this spawns the player, but it doesn't insert it as an entity. Oh, as an entity resource. Oh, okay. So let's do that. Resource. Entity. Like that. Let me clear the highlight here. And then player entity writer equals that, right? And then we're just going to return that, right? Semicolon there. Let's see if this builds. Nope. Oh, I typoed right resource. R-E-S-R-O-U. Resource. Okay. Nope. What did I do wrong now? Mutable borrower occurs here. Oh, because we've already... Okay. So let's create the player. Can we do this? Maybe this is not a possible thing to do. If I say let new player equal this guy, like that, and then say new player, like that. Is that going to work? That's probably not going to work either, right? I think it worked. Yeah, okay, so let's go back over here. Refresh. Now I should be able to die, right? There we go. Right, I got to fix that, but that's Okay, hit begin new game. And then I should be able to take damage again, if that was the problem. And I think it was. Oh. I need a scroll of telepathy. Find out where all the monsters are. If there aren't any on this level, let's go down a level. Okay, so level change worked, right? That was the other code we modified. And I'm taking damage. And I'm dying a second time. Okay, so we're almost there. I just want to figure out why we're not clearing the screen here. Because I thought we'd do that. Up at the top, we say context clear screen. Oh, I know why. It's drawing the map here. So what we didn't want to do, yeah, so the way this works in tick, so this is the tick, it runs every 60th of a second. We get the current run state, and then we either decide to display the main menu or display the map. And then we check the run state again to say what should we do with that run state. So what we need to do here is just add a no-op for run state game over, right? Why is this? Yeah, that's how it's lined up. Okay. So run state main menu draws the menu, run state game over draws nothing because we're going to draw it down at the end of this guy. Here we're going to draw the menu. Okay, so I think that's what that problem was. And another 15 seconds later. Yep. And there we go. Okay. So begin new game. Oh, we get dagger right away. Okay. So I want to die. Yes, the screen clears. Press any key to return to the menu. Done. I can't quit because this is a... it just crashes because we can't call process quit. Anyway. All right, so I think we did pretty well. Let's see what Clippy thinks. Nice. Okay, so the changes here are we have a new game state. Yeah, we went over this just before, right? We don't display the map or the main menu when we're in game over. We do display the game over screen when we're in game over. And this is a list of entities removed on game over, which is everything. We refactored go to next level into level cleanup so that we could call it from both things and we didn't have to write it twice, but we spent time, I think we spent more time debugging than we would have just typing the whole thing in, but we learned a bunch, which was the important thing. I mean, the whole point of this is learning. And then here's the game over code, the game over menu. All right. So git add source, git commit, added game over screen, and entity cleanup on death. It should be player death, but that's okay. All right, and so we go over here. So today we did more powerful cleanup and we added the game over screen, and that brings us to the end of section 2. Sorry, section 1, which is called Hello Rust. So I think I'm going to try to stream later today. I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to, but definitely tomorrow I'll stream, and we'll start with the stretch goals. Is there an intro thing? Nope. There's no intro thing. So we're going to do stretch goals tomorrow. Well, that wraps things up for today, or at least for this stream. Thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Take care.